Good Thursday afternoon. Tom Ginn here, G-Force. The G is for gratitude. One of the most powerful words that we can incorporate in our life. It bridges everything. It brings us new awareness, better understanding, gratitude. Even in the most difficult times, loss, death, tragedies, losing a job, anything, gratitude is a very powerful thing to give us a different perspective so we can deal with things differently. Hey, I see somebody's jumped on here. I tried doing this a little bit ago and I had an audio problem. So if you could just drop in the comment a one or something, let me know that we got good audio here. But anyway, gratitude. And before we get into the topic of gratitude, I would sure love you to put a one in the chat box in the event you can hear this, because I tried to do this a little bit ago, and I thank you much in advance if you can do that, if you can hear me. But I want to make sure that before I get into the topic today, that on ego, that I have you mark your calendar for Friday, tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern, because you're going to be introduced to this woman. She's going to talk about some principles she uses in her business. Her business is Pink Lemonade. It's a spa, and how she uses her energy and her uniqueness to bring more value to her employees and ultimately more value to her customers and the impact that has. So you're going to want to make sure you watch tomorrow and see Jamie. So let's just, earlier today, I was invited to a group of other coaches and consultants in the area, and there's about 12 of us, and the topic was ego. And what is ego? And that's a pretty deep subject, but in a nutshell, our ego is our external shield. It's also how we protect ourselves. It's our ego that controls a lot of what goes on around us, either positive or negative. So the question I'm asking is your ego creative or destructive? See, that was brought to me from a coach and a mentor that pointed some things out to me about my ego. And, you know, as having a coach, sometimes it's important that we can call attention to what we see that we don't see. And my ego was destructive. It was destructive to me, number one, because it's tied to how I believed about myself. And I put up false images and false shields around me that ultimately didn't serve who I really was. That's destructive. And we've encountered people with their ego so big that they want to dominate everything. And we can talk for hours of what that looks like. And we've had very egotistical people in our lives. But I'm not talking about strong egos. Is the power differential using your ego. And that could be harmful. The other side of it is that strong ego can also be creative, influential. So, but how do you recognize what is your ego? Is it destructive or creative? You have to ask that question. And then use the word gratitude. Because if you see that your ego is harming you and destructive to you, it's also impacting other people. And be grateful that you see it, because then that gratitude is a word that will shift your perspective and causes change. And when you look at your ego and is creative, and be grateful for that as well, it accentuates it so you become even a better influence. So ego, we all have one. We need one. It's just how we use it. How was it formed? How are we using our ego? You see, you have an internal ego that you're seeking. And that's the one we want to manifest out, is that internal ego that is creative, that's giving, it's joyful. So today I just wanted to say that we shared a lot. We could have talked for hours. We talked for about an hour, maybe an hour and a half on ego, and everybody shared. And the bottom line, we're all struggling with our ego, and having a clear picture of what that looks like is, if you get a clear picture of it in a definition, is it destructive or creative? And when you can get that picture, now you're in a place to make a change in that ego. So with that all said, I'm grateful for everybody here today. God bless you. Mark your calendars for tomorrow, 1 p.m. Central Time, Jamie Kolotsky. We're signing out.